In 2004, the Cascade Two-Cylinder Club embarked on the first known tractor caravan to include ferry travel as part of the route. Embarking from the Anacortes Ferry Terminal, the group drove directly onto a Washington State ferry sailing for Lopez Island. This first trip to Lopez proved to be extremely successful. The internationally distributed Green magazine even dedicated a full article to the club's trip. Due to the overwhelming success of the 2004 Cascade Two-Cylinder Club Caravan, it was decided that in 2006 the club make the same trip once more. With the positive support of club officers, board members, general club members, and numerous individuals and groups across Fidalgo and Lopez Islands, the trip became official. Once more, the group would hold an event that has and will once more go down in club history. The following is a brief overview of the 2006 Cascade Two-Cylinder Club Lopez Island Caravan. On July 24, 2006, more than 60 participants traveled to attend the event from Anacortes, Arlington, Bellingham, Bow, Burlington, Clear Lake, East Sound, Kennewick, Kirkland, Linden, Mount Vernon, Sedro-Woolley, Sylvana, Stanwood, Lopez Island itself, and even as far as Omak, winning the prize for the member who traveled the farthest. While for many the trip began with a journey to Skagit County itself, the caravan officially began as a club at 8 a.m. in the morning at the Farmhouse Restaurant, and then at the Anacortes Airport shortly after. Participants arrived, parked, and began the processes of unloading and lining up for the day ahead. Tractors weren't the only things participants were scrambling to get ready either. Many participants, especially those without a tractor to drive themselves, opted to ride on specially prepared trailers stocked with chairs, hay bales, and of course water, snacks, and supplies. Once set to go and lined up, it was a mad dash, or rather drive, to the Anacortes International Ferry Terminal via Anacopter and then Oaks Avenue, one of the busiest roads on Anacortes and Fidalgo Island. Luckily, the Anacortes Police Department had been notified in advance, and the group arrived at the next key stop of the day, the ferry terminal. Tickets were bought, and the group waited in line along with cars of the other weekend vacationers headed to the San Juan Islands and Vancouver Island, British Columbia. Finally, shortly before the 10 o'clock sailing, the group was ready to board the ferry among a crowd of very curious onlookers. And they were off, on their way to Lopez Island. Once arrived in Lopez, the caravan was able to disembark the ferry. And here these folks thought they'd seen it all. Once off the ferry, the caravan spent a few minutes lining up, letting the ferry traffic pass, and making last-minute preparations for the ride ahead. The first part of the drive on the island consists of driving south along Port Stanley Road, approximately 5.5 miles, through a beautiful array of water bodies, fields, and natural countryside.
Come on, Dennis.
It didn't take long before the caravan started driving by numerous local spectators who had come out to see the caravan mentioned in their local paper. I've always wondered where those happy, perfect model families come from that you find as samples in store-bought picture frames. Apparently, as this family demonstrated, they're on Lopez. After following the beach for a while, this stretch ends with a rest stop at the Phil Weinheimer Hilltop Farm for drinks, a bathroom visit, and good old-fashioned conversation. From here, it's onward and downward as the caravan meanders south 7 miles through the heart of Lopez Island to the official lunch stop for the day at the Bob Burt residence. Someone must have told this gentleman that there would be a large number of tractor enthusiasts driving by today. Unfortunately, they must have also forgotten to mention that his tractor was the wrong color. Finally, the gang arrived at the beautiful Bob Burt residence overlooking Davis Bay on the southern end of the island. As if the view wasn't enough, participants were treated to a fabulous hot lunch, too big for even one table to hold. It would be an understatement to say that the chef's efforts were appreciated that day. From here, the route continued back northward 5.5 miles along Fisherman Bay Road, along Fisherman Bay, through the Lopez village, and finally arriving to see a public display at the home of Dick and Barbara Pickering of their fabulous antique car collection. From here, it's a short 1.5-mile drive up to the famous Jim Smith Kiwi Farm. On the beautiful grounds of their property, the caravan made their last stop before heading back to the ferry, discussing the past day and being treated to a dinner and dessert that could only be described as wonderful. It was the perfect rest from the hot sun of the clear day and the activities that had occurred. Back in the ferry line and on the ride home, everyone had plenty of opportunities to reflect on the day's events, what was to come afterwards, and of course a little politics. The caravan was fortunate to have such gracious island hosts, perfectly warm, sunny weather, no major breakdowns or accidents, and great company. Just as predicted, it will definitely be a day that will once again go down in club history.
So I led my heart to the slaughter. Tell me, dear, what did you fear? Do you know wrong, don't know stranger to sin? So Death Valley Queen, go marry your king, or in all made you'll end up for certain. Off I did sit on my trail of regret, where I thought of you now in your castle and crown. So I found me a whore with a face just like yours, after several gallons of porter. When I awoke, she had scarred where those broke, laying cold in the bed with a well for a head. Some Death Valley Queen, go marry your king, or an old maid you'll end up certain